All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is titled Anti-White Rutgers Professor Brittany Cooper. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the woman that said we need to get rid of white people. It was something along the lines of that. So, I know I have a lot of white viewers. I might not even talk too much in this video. I'm going to just let you hear what she's talking about, all right? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now, let's roll it.
I think that white people are committed to being villains in the aggregate, right? The real sort of issue here, and I've heard people sort of say it, is one, I think that white people viscerally fear. It's not that white people don't know, right, what they have done. They know. They fear that there is no other way to be human but the way in which they are human, which is to, so, like you talk to white people and whenever you really want to have a reckoning about it, they say stuff like, it's just human nature. If y'all had all of this power, you would have done the same thing, right? And it's like, no, that's what white humans did. White human beings thought there's a world here and we own it. Prior to them, black and brown people have been sailing across oceans, interacting with each other for centuries without total subjugation, domination, and colonialism. Right?
So black and brown people were just sailing the seven seas. No arguments, no quarrels, no fights, no nothing, huh? Yeah, sure. We've taken a look at some history, some American history at this channel, and we know that that's factually untrue. Within just the brown communities alone, there was plenty of war, fighting, subjugation to slavery, plenty of things like that. I'm sure this only scratches the surface of the ridiculous things we'll hear in this 5-minute clip, but let's keep going.
Seen what a show this iteration of treatment of other human beings means, and that my hope is that we would do it differently in the moments when we have some power. We will not do it perfectly, but I do think that all of us can sort of agree that a politics that says like there are superior and inferior human beings just isn't the way to go. And that's the thing that white people don't trust us to do because they are so corrupt. Their thinking is so morally and spiritually bankrupt about power that they can't they fear viscerally, existentially letting go of power because they cannot imagine that there's a.
She doesn't realize how much she's putting her own foot in her mouth, just sitting up here talking, going on and on and on. And this is a professor at Rutgers. This woman was actually invited, or, she passed the test to be a professor. This is, wow, man, wow.
Another way to be. It is either that you dominate or you are dominated. And isn't it sad that is spiritually who they are and that they can't imagine a sort of more expansive notion of the world?
What I don't like about this, what I don't like about what she's doing is that she's pretty much putting the sins of white people's ancestors completely on white people today. She's talking about white people as if white people universally still just go out and slave hunt. This speech is full of hatred. It's full of hate, and black people will call someone like me a sellout or a traitor or whatever if we don't agree with these talking points. But I can't sit down and listen to this and agree with anything she's saying because you can tell it comes from a place of hatred. She has no love in her heart for white people from what I can tell, not based off how she's speaking.
The thing I want to say to you is we got to take these motherfuckers out. But we can't say that, right? We can't say, I don't believe in a project of violence. I truly don't. Because I think in the end that our souls suffer from that. And I do think that some of this is a spiritual condition. So here is where I land most days about white people. And I actually have been helped in this by thinking about indigenous people, right? See, part of the challenge around whiteness is that it totally skews our view of everything, right? I gave this TED talk about this some years back, and one of the reasons I was trying to think about it is the world didn't start when white people arrived in America and tried to tell all the rest of us how things were going to go. There were people out here making worlds, Africans and indigenous people being brilliant and, libraries and inventions and, vibrant notions of humanity and cross-cultural exchange long before white people showed up being raggedy and violent and terrible and trying to take everything from everybody. And that's really important, because if we believe that history starts for us when white people drag us to these shores, then we can never get outside of the notion that this is going to be our existential struggle.
You see, we still have a history that's off the shores right back in Africa. But the reality here that she's failing to discuss or failing to look at all is that we were sold into slavery. We were purchased. So you can't look at white people as the ultimate sinners when all they did was purchase us. They had to travel long and far to get the slaves that they acquired from Africa. But our fellow African brothers and sisters sold us off without hesitation. So the anger really needs to lie there. You talk about power and control and white people being raggedy, but was it not raggedy to sell your own people into slavery in the first place?
All things that begin end. White folks are not infinite and eternal. Right? They ain't gonna go on for infinity and infinity. And that's super important to remember, that white colonialism and imperialism has a beginning. And in my way of thinking about the world, that means it has an end. And so part of what we are trying to do is to imagine what are the steps that we must take to get to the other side of this very inconvenient, epochal interruption of like Black and indigenous world making. I mean, does that give people comfort on the day to day when you like just having to deal with white folks and the travesties that they create and the sense that they want to destroy the planet? Nah, there is a world beyond.
What is she talking about? What is she talking about? Now she's talking about white people want to destroy the planet. I have heard it all. And this is an example of a Black person who lets white people live in their head rent free. I guarantee you, white people are not thinking about her as much as she is thinking about them. Let it go. I'm doing marriage counseling right now, so I'm learning a lot of scripture. I got a pastor reading me scripture, and I can't remember the exact scripture that it was, but it was powerful. And it went something like this, that you have to let go of the old things so the new things can come forward. God can't bless you if you focused on old history, old drama, old beef, old things. You got to let that go and bring forth the new things. But her entire profession is surrounded upon those old things. Man, this is this is why I wanted to play the whole video. Just so you could see it for yourself, the hatred that she's spewing out of her mouth.
On even our sojourn on the earth. And so whiteness is going to have an end date, because it is not, despite what white people think of themselves, they do not defy the laws of eternity, right? Their projects are not so sophisticated that the natural laws of physics.
She just sounds like a hater. That's all. Like, she just sounds like a hater at the end of the day. This is not a good look.
Change for them. And when we sort of humble them humble our own understandings of whiteness, it seems like the biggest giant that we face. But in the end, right, it is what I like to say is, Black folks were out here for centuries and centuries and millennia doing all kinds of wonderful things, and probably some up things too, but whiteness is largely an inconvenient interruption. And so we then get to ask ourselves, so why am I here in this moment of it? Like, damn, why did I?
So whiteness is just an interruption. Like, you see the words that she uses to describe white people. It's never anything good, and my thing is, I don't have a problem with I have no specific problem with any specific types of people. It's really just a character-based assessment on people with me. I don't care what skin color you are. The way you carry yourself and how you treat me is how I'll judge you and how I'll treat you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna play the rest of this because I think we heard enough. Let me know how you felt about this in the comments below. I can't wait to see my comments on this one. All right. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on your way out the door. Parents, be careful sending your kids away to universities because this could be their teacher. Till next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.